Welcome to Tableau Server Online Admin User Group. Today's topic is around $20.4 and $21.1 new feature demo for admins. My name is Mark Wu. I'm a Tableau Server admin and also three-time Tableau Zen Master, where you can find all the other previous recordings for server admins. There is an easier link. If you go to my blog site, that is enterprisetableau.com, I do have a permanent link that will redirect you to all the previous couple years server admin tag recordings. You will love that space if you are server admin. I love Tableau's pace of innovation. For the last couple of years, Tableau Scrum team has been delivering new features every single quarter. I feel that as admin of the server, I'm standing in between those new features and my users. My process, my intent is to upgrade my server ASAP so I can make those new features available to my users. So how do I do my upgrade? We have two servers. One has about 150 core, another one has about 700 core. For the 150 core server, we follow what I call the sprint process. That is more aggressive upgrade 4 times a year, follow Tableau's release cycle. On the right side, we do twice a year, which means combine some new features together. For the sprint cycle, soon as Tableau has the latest major quarterly release, like 2021.1, soon as it's out, we're starting our upgrade process right away. It takes about 4 weeks for my testing together with the user testing. And then by that time, if testing, everything went okay, by that time, likely Tableau will have the first dot release. That is the version we choose to go live with. I have 2 tips if you are server admins. One is test your version in the production-like hardware and production-like data. That's important. And 2, try to upgrade your server more often so you can fix all the potential environmental issues on your cluster. In other words, like what I did a few years ago, only upgrade once a year. More often, actually, I will have issues. Now, do I still have an issue in my last year's upgrade? Yes, last year on the sprint, actually we planned for 4, we actually did 3. The 2020.4, that testing did not go very well, so we had to skip it. Other than that, everything's good. We did most recent 21.1 upgrade, went super smooth. So if you looking at upgrading a server in next 2 months, June, July, recommend you go with 21.1 version. That will bring a lot of new features. Let me double click on some of those new features. I'll let you read a little bit. A lot more web editing. Asking data has a nice custom view. Has nice server admin view. Custom view tab is available on the workbook. And there are a lot more server side of features are less known. Like you can configure all the zookeeper timeout. There is a retry for upgrade if failed. Hopefully did not have to use this feature. The compression of the backup is supposed to be 2x faster. Tableau made also bold move to using Postgres 12 version with Jet move from ODBC to JDBC. I'll show you more data accessorization feature. Let's look into highlights of 21.1, a lot more web editing. I'll show you the new extension gallery and also dive into the metrics more. A lot more Ask Data improvements. And also, if you use data management add-on, server management add-on, you will see some new enhancements as well. Let's dive into some of the features. I know you want to see the demo. Let me show you. As you can see, I'm admin. I can see those icons available for admins only. Okay. Well, I'm actually using Tableau Online. Okay, so I can show you those features are also available for online. Since I'm here, first let me show you the new Ask Data usage. In the past, admin had no easy way to understand what is adoption of your Ask Data for your whole organization. Now there is view for us. That's very nice. And also there is a data quality warning history. Admins can check and find out. Let me go to my other favorite features. New custom views available. Now you, as a creator, as owner of the workbook, not only they can have visibilities of all the custom views associated with a particular workbook, but also they can change the owner, they can delete the custom views. The problem in the past is that in some large implementation, for example, in my case, there are a few custom views. Sorry, there are a few workbooks. They have thousands of custom views. Become very difficult for the workbook owner to understand what is the impact when they're changing something of the workbook. The connected metric is not new. Okay, you can see all the connected metrics from workbook, but what is new is when you create a new metrics, you can see all the previous ones metrics. I'll show you more of the metrics later on. Okay. Let me go back to my slides, dive into a little bit recap on $20 new features. TSM Backup Scheduler. This can be very handy useful if you're a new server admins. So now you don't have to look for another scheduler on your Windows or Mac for the backup. TSM Maintenance Backup itself has a scheduler feature. More web editing, a lot more web editing features available. Tableau has been working aggressively, making all the desktop features available on the web. Although Tableau Desktop will still be there. You can create extracts from scratch on the browser. Okay. A lot more Ask Data feature. A lot more easy things you can use Ask Data. And also now you can create brand new flow on the server from browser without using Tableau Prep Builder. You can create a flow, that's no issue. But you cannot schedule the flow, although you can run the flow manually on the server. If you schedule the flow on the server, you will need to use data management add-on. I showed you the Ask Data admin view already. Now there is a new, it's called dedicated extracts query node rule. This applies to very large implementations. For example, one of my server has 4 file stores. Now the one file store with 4. Now I will have flexibility to configure 1 or 2 file stores only for the subscriptions and the metrics workload. And I leave all the rest 3 file stores as a user browser click interactivities. So I can avoid the potential subscriptions conflicting with the interactive views. Talk a little bit about data quality warning. Okay, now is a site admin or server admin view is available for us. Let's double click more on the data quality. Tableau has been investing pretty heavily in the last couple of years on the data management side. Tableau server has a lot of data. Not only Tableau been working on the Tableau prep, flow make it better. Tableau lineage is completely available, which is nice. Making more connectors. And not only that, Tableau actually has a connector SDK. What is connector SDK if you have not tried it yet? It is actually the tool that Tableau Dev uses to develop Tableau connectors. Now they made this tool set available for everyone to use and free, don't have to pay. So what it means is we actually can create our own connector, connect to specific data type database where it's not commonly used. Otherwise, Tableau will have a connector. The data quality warning is not new. Let me double click on that, but now the admin view available make it easier. So let me talk about data quality warning a little bit. If you have not used it yet, I know it's hard to use at this given point in time because the permission challenge. Okay, because permission challenge. Even you have a data management add-on, it is pretty much this data quality warning is only available for admins. Although the intent is to give all the other publishers or project leaders. I believe I heard Tableau Dev is working on making this feature available for the project leaders. This is mainly the permission. There are 2 types of data quality warning. One is high visibility warning. That actually will trigger a pop-up on the end user's dashboards when they click the dashboard on the server. So making sure the user is fully aware there is a data quality warning, data quality issue, so you don't make wrong decisions based on the wrong data. And of course, there is a regular type of warning that if you need to click, you will click data details, you can see more details. Custom view tab, we talked about it already, and there are again many other features, the less known. But let me double click on the data accessorization. Okay. Data accessorization actually is not new. It is 20.2 feature, but now with 20.4, it works for encrypted extracts as well. If you have not played much about it, what it does is cache the query. So the end user will feel dashboard better. Actually, it'll be better. Performance will be better because part of the things is cached. How to create a schedule? Well, there is a special accessorization type of schedule that can only be created by using Python. If you search it, Tableau documentation does provide the start point of Python. Once the schedule is created, in the screenshot, you can see now as admin, you actually can see the schedule, although you cannot edit it. Although this schedule accessorization is not available for the extracts is not available for subscriptions. Okay, it's a different type of schedule. So you will have peace of mind that nobody else can use this schedule. They cannot. They cannot just pick this as extracts, refresh, or subscriptions because it's different type. Okay. It's only available. It can only be used by this purpose. Which is good. Now, which workbook can be accessoried? That's your choice. You select a particular workbook. Does it have any cost on the server? Of course, yes. What's your memory? I guess it's mainly the memory. Okay, what's your host memory? And how often you can accessory it? It is your decision, but I will start with hourly with a few selected workbooks. Now you may ask, what is the difference between data accessorization versus pre-compute recent viewed workbooks? The pre-compute recently viewed workbooks has been there for a while, for a couple of years. That is a beautiful feature. By default, I think is checked. The screenshot you can see there in the middle. So what it does is for frequently used dashboards, after each extract refresh, it triggers like pre-compute the query result, basically cache warm up. Okay, what it means for the most frequently used dashboards, well, it defines is that if the dashboard is used 14 times last week, for example, last 7 days, being clicked 14 times. If the view has been clicked 14 times last 7 days, and if there are daily extracts scheduled for this data, means 7. Okay, daily means in the next 7 days there are 7 schedulers. Then this will be qualified as a more frequently used workbook, and those will be in scope for the pre-computing cache. Although you can configure it, if you Google my the previous maybe 2 years back, the target recording, I have a very detailed analysis on this. Where the new data accessorization is working differently. Okay, that new feature will give us a choice of even to cache warm up those less frequently used workbooks, but for VIP workbooks. Okay, that's why it's not available by default, and we have to make it happen as admin using Python. I believe behind the scene is the same cache warm up technology process, but just on the UI is not available. Someone from dev, they are keen enough, they probably design this Python that can just make it happen for us. Okay, using the API to call the special scheduler. Basically, what's the setup process? It's a little bit more complicated for data accessorization, which is fair because it's not designed for the creators, publishers. Okay, it's only for server admins. Okay, create a schedule using Python. You update the workbook, turn on the accessorization for the specific workbooks, and then you add this workbook to a scheduler, to your special scheduler called data accessorization schedule. I would recommend if you try, pick up 5 or 10 workbooks doing the hourly data accessorization, try it, compare the performance before and after. Okay. It works better if the render piece, means if the dashboard design is not too complicated. But you will find out. Try it and find out. And on the other side, the pre-computing recent viewed workbook feature, that is much straightforward, simpler. Basically, it turn on for the whole site, and it just warm up automatically after each extract for those more frequently used dashboards. That's it. Very simple. I strongly recommend everyone should leave it on. There are a few other $20 for new features. I'm gonna skip very quick. Let's dive into 21.1. A lot more web editing in closed extension gallery is available in the web editing. Let me show you the web editing piece, okay? Especially the extension gallery. Go back to my Superstore. Let's say I'm here on this view. Come on. It's supposed to be a simple view. Spinning wheel. It's supposed to be a simple view. Let me choose the other one maybe. Something is going on with online. Maybe I'll come back. Something going on. It's supposed to be a very simple view. I'll come back. Oh, it's back. All right, it's back. It takes a little bit of time. I don't know what happened. All right. This is a simple Tableau dashboard. Now you can see there is something here. This is an extension. Okay, this is extension. Okay, extension not new, but I will show you what is new. Okay, just one example extension is just data table extension. For example, I can search everything about the source. Okay, I can the region, source region, or I can say I'm going to search anything from May orders. Now, this is more like you can see, hey, this is not fancy stuff at all. This is just cross tab. Yeah, cross tab, but you can search it. Where Tableau's out of box cross tab, you cannot search. Now, how this is done? Let me do web edit. Then you can see what is new for Tableau. Let me just delete this, add from scratch again. I'm deleting the extension. I'm going to add new extension from here. Drag the extension into your dashboards again. If you never work on extension before, it only works on Tableau dashboard, not tab. Okay. Now you see a bunch of extensions available. Okay. On this server, I can show you later on. This is extension by default. By default, all the sandbox extensions are enabled by default. Okay, all the sandbox extensions by default. So I can people can just feel comfortable to choose any sandbox extensions. Let me see if I think I had earlier. I had data table. Yeah, this data table. Okay, it's not a font, but it's sandbox extension. Sandbox extension is a safe extension. Adding to the dashboard. Always ask you to configure a little bit. Always, this is the way the extension works. When you click, which worksheets? Let's say I'm gonna get product details. Okay, product views. Okay, summary data. Choose number of records, and the rest you don't have to do for this one. I'm going to save that. Here we go. So now you can search, right? You can search things. Now I want to search all of 2019. Okay. So what is new for this feature? Well, what's new is, let me delete this. What is new is when you go to extension, now you see a lot of extensions available right away here. Okay, let me show you the configuration of this. As admin, now you have extension tab. By default, this is checked. Let Sandbox extension run on this site is on by default. And also by default, of course, let users run extension on this site is also on, which is fine. This is good. This is the right setting. I strongly recommend. I'll talk about this piece later on. This is for a network extension. Those extensions are not quite safe to use. Your organization may want to review them one by one. If you feel that you want to use this, then you click add specific URL into your proof list. Otherwise, basically nobody can use them. I think that's fine. But let me talk about more. Give you more idea what it means. Tableau extension as a term can be pretty confusing for a lot of people. There are two types of extensions. One is called dashboard extension, another is analytics extension. The analytics extension includes like TablePy, Python server, R server, and the brand new Einstein Discovery server, and whatever others technology in the future will be available. Basically, I will show you. It allow your Tableau server connect to third-party analytics, machine learning AI engine, sending data out to your, for example, Python server, getting the big calculation and send the results back to Tableau. Okay. At this point in time, one site can connect to either a Python server or a server. I believe I saw it on the Tableau's beta 21.2 beta, where finally one set can connect to a many Python and many R. That is the feature I've been looking for. Well, on the left side, Tableau dashboard extension, okay, that's on the dashboard side. There are two types. One is Sandbox extension. That is on. That is absolutely safe to use. I'll double click on next page. There is another type called network extension. It's not safe to use. It's disabled by default. Let me double click. Sandbox extension. What it does? What is Sandbox extension? Sandbox extension basically means no matter your extension runs on your browser, means server, or runs on your Tableau desktop. The Sandbox extension only runs the JavaScript locally within your browser or within your Tableau desktop. Okay, the JavaScript runs locally and never sends data outside your company. Never sends data out to where the extension was hosted. In this case, Sandbox extension is actually hosted in Tableau's website. Okay. What does actually technically, when you first click the extension by users, it sends a little bit of JavaScript or HTML, the static file over from Tableau's hosting Sandbox server to your either browser or desktop. That's it. And it runs everything from within your browser or your desktop. This is absolutely safe to use. Strongly recommend leave it as a default as on. And also I showed you earlier a little bit. Now the gallery is available on your browser, which is beautiful. There is big push on the marketing side of Tableau talking about Einstein Discovery. I believe that can be useful if you are already Salesforce customer, which means a lot of users already have a Salesforce account and so on. Then you just need additional Einstein Discovery license. Tableau shall work. Okay, because Einstein Discovery is first, sends data from Tableau to Salesforce.com. And then the users, even the end users, would have to have Salesforce.com account for them to view the data. That's the way how it works. And that's the way it is designed. So it works for better for existing Salesforce customers. If you're not existing Salesforce customers, your end users will also have to get into the Salesforce account, not only Tableau, okay? Username, password. It does require additional license. This is what I got from Tableau's website. They move on to the recommended configurations. If this is a little bit confusing, a lot of things for you, I'm trying to make it simple for you. Here's your simple takeaway for all the extensions. First, on the server, Sandbox Extension, leave it on as default. Strongly recommend because it's safe to use. Server Network Extension, leave it off as default. Enable specific one case by case. On the server side, Analytics Extension is definitely okay, perfect, fine to connect to your own organization's Python R server. Again, this will be getting better and better. With coming release, Tableau will have one site connecting to multiple Python or R server at the same time. Now, what about the desktop side? Remember 2 years ago, we were very concerned with this extension security. Now, with Sandbox extension being out, with Better Gallery on the server, I feel we are completely safe. We are safe. This extension design security now on the server is perfect fine. What about desktop? By default, Tableau Sandbox extension is on. Leave it on. Safe. As Sandbox is always safe, no matter runs on server or Tableau desktop. Now, network extension. Network extension is also default on the desktop. However, I will recommend to turn it off if your organization controls the distribution of Tableau desktop. If you don't control it, anyway, almost not possible to turn it off. If you control it, Google the web Tableau's documentation, you will find how to do it from either Mac or Windows. It's part of post installation of Tableau desktop. You can script it to turn them off. Tableau Prep's getting better and better always. People love this feature where you can output the flow into not only CSV but also XML. Lot more connectors available, 21.1. And there are some quick LODs. That's more on the Tableau desktop. I'm not going to demo. People can drag the header, no matter it's column or rows. That's also available on the web. So I'm going to skip that. Ask data, I think, getting better. Starting with pop-up guides for the Ask Data users, mainly for the data owners, I guess. Okay. I think I went through this. Maybe if I have not, it's right here. If you go to a Tableau server, click this notification icon, you can see all your notifications. Not only that, you can also actually configure how this notification works, where you want notification to be sent, either a server or email or both. Okay, that's that feature. Licensing management is getting better, easier, and of course, there's no downtime. You can add license capacity. Matrix is not new, but now the matrix is getting better in the lineage. That's nice. If only you have data management add-on. And the matrix, when you create a new matrix, you can see the existing ones over there, which is a nice feature. Let me dive into the matrix a little bit. if you have not used much of the metrics. Okay. First, creating metrics is actually a publishing process. You need 5 things actually to make it happen. So it's not available for everyone. First, cite the rule. You need to have either creator or explorer can publish cite the rule. Second, you have to have the workbook level has to have a permission to allow metrics to be created from this workbook. Right now, the permission goes with download for data permission. If the workbook download for data permission is not given to the user, then the user cannot create permission metrics from this workbook. In the future, what I heard was Tableau will come up with a separate control as permission. It's called metrics. But right now, at this point in time, still combined with download full data. Of course, the metric, the user has to have a project to publish the metrics. Okay, it's a publishing process. Okay, the workbook has to have an embedded password, and the workbook cannot be used for row-level security, for example. Let me just give you a quick test. Okay, what are the entry points to create a matrix? Is from a view, custom view, or data source? Think about it. The correct answer is view and custom views, not data source. Matrix more. Matrix is actually an independent object. What it means? Okay, similar as the workbook is independent data source. Even the workbook is connected to the published data source. Even the workbook is built from a published data source. Then the workbook itself becomes independent. Same thing here for metrics. Although metrics is based on view, or based on custom view, soon as metrics is created, notice it's a publishing process. It becomes a independent objects. It means it can have its own permission process. Okay, it has its own permission process. It also means even the original view, original workbook is deleted, the metrics will stay because it's independent, although it will not refresh anymore. Also means because matrix is independent object, also means potentially there is a permission cascading issue, which I talked about this in this forum maybe a year ago. Means if you gave the workbook view permission to 3 people, okay, if you give the 3 people, those 3 people are publishers, those 3 people, you give them download for data permission, means allow them download for data. The concept design is, hey, if you allow them to download for data, means it's okay for you, for them download for data, they build new dashboards that share with another 20 people. Okay, possible. This is a potential permission cascading. So same thing here is like they create the 3 of them have permission to your workbook, to your view, and they create metrics they can share with more people. Be aware this cascading issue. How metrics is refreshed? Depends on live or extracts of the workbook. If it's live, the workbook is live connecting to the data source, refreshes hourly. Metrics refresh hourly. If it's extracts, okay, which is making it better, after extracts refresh, then the metrics get refreshed automatically. The separate background task trigger it automatically. Do you have any control on the refresh scheduling failures? Yes, you do as an admin. Actually, this is the one slide I spend a lot of time put together. Try to make admin's life easier. One slide show you all the controls you have around metrics. If the workbook is live connection to your database, by default, again, metrics refreshes hourly. from the original view. You have way to configure if you can do it whatever how many minutes. Also, you can configure the failures by default, no matter it's a live connection type of workbook or extracts type of workbook. By default, after matrix refresh fails 10 times, many different reasons can fail. No permission, for example. After fail 10 times, the matrix owner will receive a notification. After 10 times, you can change it if 10 is not the right number for you. After 175 failures, the matrix refresh will be suspended. Okay, will be suspended. You can also configure that. That's all I have. Let me just, I know we talk about a lot of things. Let me give you a summary of your key takeaways. 1, try to upgrade your server 2 to 4 times a year. Number 2, with more and more web authoring, creating metrics on the creating metrics, creating extracts, creating prep on the server, just watch your server hardware configurations. You may need more machine power to handle all those extensions, extracts, ask data on the server, and so on. Number 3, if you have not leveraged the Sandbox extension, it is time. Right now, Sandbox extension is getting beautiful and much easier, much easier to use. And also the